Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the mask of the narcissist works until it doesn't. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So jumping right in, we all know now that the narcissist usually wears a mask. They act like they are one person to the public and they're somebody completely different behind closed doors or when you are with them exclusively. I'll give many illustrations as to how this happens. And when you see and you experience poor behavior from another person and you don't know what narcissism is, you don't know that that behavior should not be tolerated and that that person who is administering that behavior, they can't regulate themselves. They have some real concerns. When you understand that and you wrap your head around what narcissism is, that changes your life forever. That is when you no longer allow an energy vampire to consume your time. It's when you no longer are a people pleaser. It's when you put up boundaries. It's when you can say the word no, the strongest word in the English language. It's when you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. I share these ideas and thoughts and notions on the channel virtually every day to reinforce that you are the beautiful, bright, shining light. You are the abundant one. It's not the narcissist. The narcissist was somebody who is a coward and a bully, and they wanted to take away from you your belief in yourself, your identity, and your resources, and your time. They wanted to take everything they possibly could from you. When the narcissist met you, they most likely were wearing a mask, meaning that they were acting all buddy-buddy with you and getting to know you, and they were really interested in learning about you and what makes you you. They wanted to understand your background, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, where you were headed, what you were doing, what your education was, your family members, your background, your former romantic relationships, your friendships, where you've lived, where you studied, all these things. They wanted to learn them as much as they could about you at light speed, usually. And when they did this, they grabbed on little nuggets of information, and they stored them in the back of their tiny little head to utilize and weaponize against you at a later date. So remember, the narcissist comes at you in all shapes and forms and sizes. They're in the workplace, they're your neighbors, they are your colleagues, they're romantic relationships, they're your children, they are your parents, they're people that serve you on planes, trains, automobiles. The narcissist is everywhere. Now, I'm not a doom and gloom person. This channel is a channel of education, of enlightenment, of awakening and empowerment. It's to let you know that if you've gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle, or you believe that somebody you're in a relationship with right now is a narcissist, then you need to get the tools. You need to weaponize yourself and raise your defenses against the narcissist. In other words, you need to have boundaries. So the mask of the narcissist, it works until it doesn't. What that means is there will be a pivotal moment in time, and maybe for you, it's right here, right now, watching this video, when you're understanding that, wait a minute, this behavior, it should not be tolerated. And example, the police should not be coming to my house, and fights aren't good, and verbal abuse should not be tolerated, and the parental alienation that I have experienced, or maybe I'm a grandparent and I haven't seen my kids in 5, 10 years. Well, these things are all weapons. They're all things that the narcissist does to drive wedges between you and anything that matters to you. But the behavior should not be tolerated. And there's a huge part in understanding what narcissism is that many people get stuck on. And here's what it is. It's that they believe that the narcissist can change, and that they believe that if they just spend more time with the narcissist and they try to reason with them and try to get them to understand that the behavior is not acceptable, that they will see it their way. That's not the case. The narcissist knows what they're doing. They know how to administer as much pain and inflict as much damage upon people as possible because they know who you are. Let's take the grandparent for an example. Well, if you're a grandparent, then you know that your kid, your child who's an adult now and has kids, you know how you raised them. You probably raised them in a great fashion, in a great way. And then something shifted. Maybe when they met their spouse, then all of a sudden you were not seeing them as frequently. And maybe they relocated to a different state or country. And then they had kids. And then those kids you were excited about. You wanted to see your grandkids. And maybe you did see them for a period of time, maybe the first year of their life or a couple of years, who knows. But then something shifted. And what it was either your son or daughter or their spouse turned into a narcissist. Now, did it happen overnight? No. But they were drinking the Kool-Aid, and they were slowly removing themselves from your life, and they knew that that would inflict damage upon you. I hear this so frequently during sessions because the parental alienation, or in this case, the grandparents not seeing the children or their grandkids, that hurts because the grandparents raised the kids And now they're looking forward to the older years of their lives of spending time with the grandkids and providing wisdom and experience. And that's what the life cycle is all about. It's about creating memories and fortifying and building relationships with people. But the narcissist, maybe even your own son or daughter, they knew. They didn't want you to see the kids. That's an example. When the mask slips from the narcissist, it is unlike anything you've ever experienced, because you will see them shift on a dime. You will see their temperament change. You will see the big black beach balls of their pupils dilate. You will see them crush the mask to the ground, tell you how little they cared about you, or that they're just moving on to the new supply, whatever they're going to say to you. But they are showing you how little they cared about you and how little they care about anybody. But the whole time they're doing that, they're trying to let you really stay stuck in that narcissistic fog by going to a new source of supply. That's meant to confuse you. It's meant to have you in pain and to not understand what narcissism is. And believe me when I tell you, that was me, and it may be you. The whole point of that is that the narcissist, what they do is they go from person to person, town to town, city to city, country to country, wearing a mask, finding vulnerable people or empaths or people that want to enter relationships, and they catch on to what these people, they learn about what makes these people themselves, and then they fall into relationships with them. And as soon as the narcissist has taken whatever they want from the people, in this case it was you, certainly was me, that's when they move on to the new supply. But the mask slipped. So why the video, the thumbnail mentions the mask of the narcissist, it works until it doesn't. It doesn't work once you get the wisdom, once you break the trauma bond, once you identify that narcissism is prevalent, once you realize that this was not your fault, that you were manipulated. Perhaps you fell in love with the narcissist. Well, you have to understand this. The narcissist cannot fall in love with you or anybody. They have no love or no empathy. That's why they wear a mask, to manipulate people, to extract resources from people, to use, abuse, and manipulate people. That is exactly why these relationships, almost always, they end with a thud, a crash, a bang. They don't end in a way where two people sit down and have a cup of coffee and communicate and work through their differences, or try to patch things up and work through troubling times. The narcissist does not like troubling times. They do not like it when your health takes a hit. They do not like it when your bank account is zero. They do not like it when you're not providing supply for them or giving them a roof over their head or paying their bills. The narcissist is essentially a little child trapped in an adult body. And they know that, and you know that, and you're getting the wisdom. So when the mask slips, that is a pivotal part of your life, because you can't unsee what you've seen. And you now understand that, wow, you were manipulated and taken advantage of for quite a long period of time, which was the length of the relationship. But understand a few things here. One, the narcissist can't change. The only thing they change is the mask they wear. Number two, they get worse over time. That's what the aging narcissist is, and I'm going to create a video on that, maybe even today. The aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. It's a person who feels entitled, whose looks are fading, who is wearing clothes of the past, who is using words of the past, like words that were used 30 or 40 years ago. They believe that those are up to date. They're not. And it's a person who believes that they can still enter relationships with people so much younger than them. And many times the aging narcissist, they look in the mirror, and what do they see? They don't see the person who is maybe up there in the years. They have an imaginary vision of themselves looking like they did when they were in their 20s or 30s, but that's not reality. Then again, the narcissist's mind usually isn't in reality. It's all over the map. It's up, it's down, it's in, it's out. There is no accountability with the narcissist. They can't introspect. They can't grow old with people in a peaceful manner. They need disruption. They need unpaid helpers. They need walking apologies. They need people to take care of them while administering as much infliction, or while inflicting as much abuse on these people as they possibly can. And if you married the aging narcissist, you should drop comments below, because let the community know what your experience is. These people do not improve over time. And when the mask slips, you can't unsee all the damage that you have seen throughout the relationship. So that's when the mask no longer works. That's when you get the wisdom. That's when you apply the tools. That's when you go no contact. You block the narcissist if possible. You delete them. You remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Now, I mention that on every video that I create. The reason why is because if you have the wisdom that you are in a narcissistic relationship, you should not be in it 1 minute longer if you have the ability to exit that relationship, which again is why I suggest and strongly urge people to have an exit plan. And that is, it's a very pivotal part. You should not be staying in these relationships. if you have the ability to get out. If you don't, utilize gray rock, become dull, become boring. Do not share information with these people. And let's say you have to work with the narcissist. Okay, well, we already know now that they're gonna pick probably a Monday or a Friday or any day in between to pepper you with abuse. It's usually to start your week off or to end before the weekend begins, because they wanna make sure that they have inflicted as much damage upon you, the workplace bully this is, to have you working over the weekend, or having you thinking, dreading Monday morning, or to have you thinking that your weekend's ruined because they just blew up your phone Friday at 4 o'clock. This is what these people do. They are calculated and they know exactly what to do. They know what buttons to press with which person. So the narcissist mask, it works until it doesn't. That's when you finally get the message that these people, they can't change. These people are trying to consume your energy. They're trying to consume your time. They're trying to consume your empathy. They take advantage of hard-working, responsible people who are always doing the right thing. These people are the people that hold down jobs. These people are the people that have stable and healthy relationships. These people are pillars of the community. These people are you. And that's why the narcissist is drawn to you. Like a moth to a flame, and you're the flame, the narcissist is drawn to you because they can feel your energy. They can watch the way you walk in a room. They can hear the words you use. That's why they want to take you down. That's why they want to keep you in that low vibrational quagmire state where the narcissist exists, because that's where their home is. Their home isn't the beautiful, bright, abundant, shining light that you are. They try to capture you so you can shine light on their misery, on their toxic vibrational level. That's why they do what they do, because they need someone else to make them feel better. They need someone else to offer light. They need someone there to take the abuse. They need someone there to make them feel like they matter. They need someone there to make them feel like they're important and better than people. Now understand what I'm sharing with you. If you are a person who exited the narcissistic relationship, drop comments below and pay it forward. Understand a few things. One, the mask will always work until it doesn't. Just like everything on the planet. Everything has a time when it doesn't work. Think about if you painted your house a couple of years ago. Well, your house is painted and it's probably a beautiful color. Well, over time, the Mother Nature and weather wears down on your house, the paint. So you have to paint it again. I don't know how often, maybe a couple of years, who knows, but that you have to keep the maintenance up. That's what you have to do throughout life. That's what the narcissist doesn't want to do. The narcissist is in denial. The narcissist is filled with anxiety. The narcissist is riddled with fear. The narcissist has so many skeletons in their closet, the closet is overflowing. They can't even shut the door any longer. Think about the narcissistic relationship. The mask that the narcissist wore to get you into that relationship, it worked. But now you're in the community, now you're on the channel, now you're understanding that that thing doesn't work any longer. And yes, you're gonna have to break the trauma bond, which is not an easy thing to do, but you will do it. If I did it, you can do it. It will take time. It will take a mountain of time, but in your time, you will do it. You need to practice radical acceptance. You need to understand that the narcissist doesn't love you. They don't care about you. They never have and they never will. And again, they don't care about the new supply. What the new supply is to the narcissist is simply another opportunity. It's a way for the narcissist to erase your relationship and past relationships, wipe the slate clean, begin with a new love bomb or euphoric stage, and start the cycle all over again. But that relationship with the new supply, it will expire. Each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. We are learning that. We understand it. And that's how the narcissist wants it. What they want is do-overs. The narcissist wants so many times to get a do-over. Now, they're not going to tell you that necessarily, but think about this. When you would try to have an intelligent conversation with the narcissist, they would bring up things from the past, wouldn't they? Right, because they didn't want to listen to your words. They didn't want to be pointed out. They didn't want to be called out. They didn't want to have to admit that they are flawed and they make mistakes. That's why when things add up in the narcissistic relationship over time, the person, which was you endure so much abuse, mentally, verbally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Your health takes a hit, everything. And the narcissist, when it ends, you think that they just go off into the sunset and they're living their best life. They're not. Their penalty and their existence and their what's going to happen with them, their penance, if you will, whatever term you want to use, they have to live in their own mind. And they have to know what they did to you. And they do know what they did to you. They're never going to admit it. What they're going to do is leave you a shell of yourself crumbled up like a sheet of paper on the freeway. And they're going to leave you hurting and wailing and not in a good space. This is called the discard. And again, I'm not trying to trigger people. This is exactly what happens. It's happening right now all over the planet. As I'm creating this video and you are consuming it, Narcissistic relationships are being begun, they're starting, and they're ending right now all over the planet. Yes, they are. And at one point, your relationship ended. And my hope is you weren't discarded. If you were, my heart goes out to you. If you had to end it yourself, my heart still goes out to you, because you shouldn't have suffered 1 minute of abuse. But yet that's what the narcissist does. The mask is what got you into that relationship. And they turned once they knew they had you. Once you had children with them, or moved in with them, or started a business, or loaned them money, whatever you did, that's when they knew they had you. And that's when the dynamic of the relationship completely shifted. And this is the cycle that the narcissist is doomed to go on and on and on about. They never change, they only get worse. So understand, the mask of the narcissist, it worked until it didn't. When it didn't was when you had that first light bulb moment and you realized, oh my goodness, I married a narcissist. Oh my gosh, what is, how come I wasn't taught this in school? What's going on here? Then you had to really slow your life down and process and go through all of the relationship by yourself and think about it and unwind what happened on Christmas, what happened on New Year's, what happened on the birthdays, what happened here, there, everywhere. Who was that person? Why was that person in my house? Why was the narcissist always on one of their 3 smartphones at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? Why were they not paying attention to me at dinner? Why did I always have to put them way high on the pedestal and listen to their problems, but they wouldn't even listen to one thing? Why were they not there when I had health concerns? Why did they not care when I ran out of money? Why did they disappear when I lost my job? Think about all these things. If you're in a stable or healthy relationship with another person, when the chips are down, they're gonna be there for you. They're not gonna blink an eye. They're gonna drop whatever they're doing to support you, lift you up, and to help you to get back on your feet. It's not what the narcissist does. They disappear. That's what they do, because they're shallow. They don't wanna help people. They wanna take from people. They don't wanna grow with people. They wanna destroy relationships. And they know this. So when the mask of the narcissist, when you first encountered them, that mask was super glued tight to their face, I can assure you. And it was meant to have you believe that this person had your best interest at heart, and they loved you and they wanted to build a relationship with you, whatever it was. But over time, they got jaded and bored with you and with the relationship, because they were already taking from you whatever they could. And then the more they took from you, the weaker you became. The weaker you became, the weaker they looked at you, meaning they didn't look at you as a beautiful individual. They looked at you as weak, frail. And again, think about this one. This is a whole different element. When the narcissist has you jumping through hoops for them, paying their way through life, or providing things for them, they are actually laughing in the back of their mind. They're like, I can't believe this person's falling for this. How does this person not see what I'm doing to them? How do they not see that I'm manipulating them every way? And then they laugh again in the back of their mind. They say, oh, I know how, because they believe the mask, and I need to keep that mask up. And every once in a while, I need to disappear to regulate myself so I can come back on stronger than ever and continue this charade, to continue this fake relationship, and to continue to bleed the person, which was you, of all the resources. That's what the narcissist does. That's why they're professional manipulators, and that's why they know exactly what they're doing. But the mask will always work until it doesn't. And everything comes to an end on this planet. Unfortunately, it does. And the narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. The new supply will be getting exactly what you got, if not worse. And you may think to yourself, well, I don't know how it could be worse, Andrew. Remember, the aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. These people get worse over time, and they don't care about anybody. So before I close the video, I want to let you know, the narcissist mask, it's being used right now all over the planet. The thing is, you now have the wisdom, you're applying the tools, you know the glossary, the terms, the definitions on the narcissistic abusive cycle, and you now have boundaries, and you now know that you are the important, valuable, beautiful, bright, shining light. It wasn't the narcissist. They were never that. They are the low vibrational, dark energy force who try to capture you for a period of time, and they did succeed. Until when? Until they didn't. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I love doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You're not alone. God bless you. I love you all. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, bye you guys.